What's the day before Christmas? The cards in their places. You open the deck. All deuces and aces on Card Sharks. And here's the host of Card Sharks, Jim Perry.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Card Sharks. Nice to have you here. Thank you. And our thanks for a very seasonal poem, Bill Postal of Westlake, California. Thank you, Bill. And now let's open the board and get to the cards. Janice and Marky, if you will, load in the cards, please. And as you can see, we have a game in progress with these Card Sharks. Tracy Cressy. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Our champion. You're married to a fellow in the Air Force, right?
Yeah, well, he's not really in the Air Force. He's in the Air National Guard training with the Air Force.
Oh, because I was going to ask, have you done a lot of traveling around? You're originally from Chicago.
Yes, I have, only because my father's an airline pilot, so I've been all over the place.
Pilots in the family, huh?
Afraid so.
Well, good. And you've done very well here with $2,950 in cash, Tracy.
Just fantastic.
With one trip to the money cards. Jorge Bloom is our challenger. Nice to see you again, Jorge. How's my Spanish? Am I pronouncing that right? Jorge?
Jorge.
Jorge? Not too bad,
Not bad at all, I must tell you. And you know something, you also have a pilot here by you.
Are you a pilot as well?
Also. I fly gliders, you know. The ones without engines. Those are really, really exciting.
Ah, and you are from Caracas, Venezuela.
Yeah.
Good. Nice to have you back here with us. Good luck to both of you. And the players, of course, have shuffled the cards. The cards are shuffled. The players have cut them. The upper cards, the red cards, will be played by Tracy, the champion. The lower cards, the blue cards, played by Jorge, the challenger. Best 2 out of 3. We're in the middle of game 1, and the question as we left off is going to you, Tracy. Tracy, we polled 100 grooms-to-be. Now, these are all men who plan to be married within the next 6 months. And we asked them, be honest, do you think you'll always be faithful to your wife? How many grooms-to-be admitted they did not intend to be faithful to their wives?
I think if a groom doesn't intend to be faithful, he shouldn't be getting married in the first place. And I think a lot of them probably feel that way. If they haven't gotten it out of their system yet, then they shouldn't be getting married. That should be pretty low. I'm going to say 25.
25 grooms-to-be said they do not intend to be faithful. Jorge?
You know, you can be really romantic about it. You know, the intention is always there, but the intention not always counts. So I would go slightly higher than that.
Higher?
Yes, slightly higher than that.
Well, if it is higher, Jorge, you'll go to the board first. If not, it'll be Tracy. The actual number of grooms-to-be who admitted they did not intend to remain faithful to their wife is 12. It is not higher. Tracy. But still, that's frightening. 12 of them starting off on the wrong foot. You've got the right foot, as you've got an 8 and a chance to change it if you'd like.
Get rid of it.
At middle card, I can't say as I blame you. Whenever you win the question, you can change it to a jack.
Good card. Lower.
Lower than a jack. No, it's a king. It's not lower. And Jorge gets a free chance to play off the king of his and call this.
I'll call it lower.
Lower than a king. Yes, a 2.
And higher.
Higher than a 2. It is a 9.
I'll go for it lower.
Gotta risk it. Lower than a 9. Oh, no, it's an ace. You took a risk, and it did not pay off. And Janice will fill in the spaces with Tracy needing 2 cards, Jorge needing 4, and we are at sudden death. Someone has to win with this play of the cards. Jorge, we asked 100 first-grade students. When you're naughty, first-grade students, when you're naughty, do your parents spank you? How many first graders said they do get spanked?
Oh, I got spanked myself when I was in first grade. So if it was going to be from my experience, I'd say it's a rather high number. Let's go for at least 65 were spanked.
65 were spanked, Tracy.
I don't think my parents really ever spanked us. They gave us other kinds of punishment than that spanking. I think it's going to be lower than
lower.
that. I think lower.
The actual number of first graders whose parents spanked them when they're naughty is 59. It's lower, Tracy. You're right. Tracy, you have a jack. You need 2 cards. Jorge has a king. He needs 4. You've got control. Play it or pass it.
I'm going to let him play
And you're going to pass it. Jorge, if you can turn them all over, you win the game. But one mistake, it belongs to Tracy. With a king, call this.
Try lower.
Lower than a king. Yes, a 6.
And I'll have to try for higher.
Higher than a 6. It is an 8. Halfway there.
Lower.
Lower than an 8. A 7. 1 to go.
I go higher this time.
Higher for the win. Yes, he did it. 4 cards. Wow. And a sensational win for the challenger. And now the champion has to make a comeback right after this commercial break. And a bad card. Well, the challenger won game number 1 with a sensational 4-card run. And we set up with the same 2 decks of cards over there, Janice. And Tracy, the question to you. We found 100 teenage girls who are married. Teenage girls who are married. And we asked them, were you pregnant when you got married? How many teenage girls said yes, they were pregnant when they got married?
I hate to say it, but I think it's a pretty good sized number. A lot of them that get married that young kind of have to get married. 45.
45 teenage girls were pregnant when they got married.
I did some counseling at the time, and I had a lot to do with girls that were teenagers, and most of them have to say they go for, I would say it's a lower number than that.
Lower?
Yeah,
oh,
it's
you
lower.
think they don't want to get married. All right. Well, the actual number of teenage girls who were pregnant when they got married is 28. It's lower. Jorge. That's a lot of, wow, 28 pregnant. My goodness. You're starting off, Jorge, with a 4.
I will keep it, and I'll go higher.
Higher than a 4. A 7.
And I'll freeze right there.
With that 1-card advantage, Jorge freezes. And the question goes to you, Jorge. We asked 100 men who work as a department store Santa Claus. Not you, G2, T2, you stay here. We asked them, has a kid ever told you he was mad at you because he didn't get what he wanted last Christmas? How many Santas said a kid has gotten angry at them?
I got angry a couple of times, and I know a whole bunch of friends of mine who shared my feelings, so it's going to be a high number. I go for about 75 of them.
75 kids were mad at Santa. Department store Santas, of course, for getting the wrong thing on Christmas.
Well, I think a lot of kids feel that they maybe didn't get what they wanted, but they wouldn't tell Santa in case he got mad at them and wouldn't give them this year's toys. So I think it's going to be lower. They don't want to get him mad.
You do have your own logic there, Tracy. Let's
Right.
find out. The actual number of Santas who've had a kid get mad at them because he didn't get what he wanted last Christmas is 53. You're right, Tracy. You got it. Yes. Your base card is a king.
Great card. It's going to be lower.
Lower than a king. Oh, no, another king. Jorge, a chance to play off a 7.
Well, I'll play it, but I think I'm going to... Do I get a chance to change it?
Pardon me? No, you cannot change it.
Of
You didn't
course
win the
not.
question.
So I'm going to play it. I'm going to play higher.
Higher than a 7. It is an 8.
Oh! I'll freeze there again.
Freezing it again with that 1-card advantage as we fill in the space for Tracy. The question goes to you, Tracy. We asked 100 men who are freshmen in college. Does an attractive girl look sexier when she's wearing blue jeans or when she's wearing a dress? How many freshmen said a girl looks sexier in a dress?
Just using my husband again from past experience, he loves girls in dresses and he loves legs. And I have a brother that's a freshman and he likes them too, so I will say 70.
70 men say that a girl looks sexier in a dress.
You're talking about teenagers, like teenage girls, okay?
Well, these are freshmen in college, and
Yeah.
they just said an attractive girl.
I guess I would say it's not that high. Blue jeans are also really sexy. I really like blue jeans myself, so and a lot of people do. So I'm going to go for a slightly lower number. Than
Lower.
that. Yeah, it's going to be lower.
The actual number of freshmen who think a girl looks sexier in a dress rather than blue jeans is 70, right on the button. Tracy. Wow, nicely done. You've got a king, Tracy. Call this one.
King is good. I'll go lower again.
Lower than a king. Yes, a 7. This time it's right.
I'm going to freeze on that.
And again a freeze as Tracy needs 3 cards. Jorge needs 2. We're at sudden death again. Jorge, we asked 100 people. Have you ever told someone the seat next to you was occupied when it really wasn't? How many people said they've done that?
Again, for personal experience, many times. I think it's going to be a really high number. I've done it, I don't know how many times, undesirable people. So I go for 75. At least
75 who
I've
said
done it.
this seat is occupied when it really wasn't, Tracy.
Well, I know a couple times I've had shopping bags on a seat, and if someone actually point blank asks me if it's occupied, I won't lie. I'll say, no, it's not. It's going to be lower because of that.
The actual number of people who've told someone the seat next to them was occupied when it really wasn't is 46. Tracy, you're right, it's lower. And Tracy, again, you've got control with a 7 needing 3 cards, Jorge with an 8 needing 2. What's your decision? Play it or pass it?
Well, it didn't work last time, but I'm going to let him try it again.
Again, the pressure on Jorge. You're right up the middle with an 8. You've got 2 cards to go for the championship.
And again, I go this time higher.
Higher than an 8. It is a jack.
Oh, and I go lower this time.
Lower for the championship. No! And in sudden death, Tracy ties up the match. We're tied 1-1. Each player with one game and $100 will set up for the tiebreaker, ladies, if you will. And that means just 3 cards up there and 3 questions here. Someone gets a crack at the money cards very quickly. Tracy, we found 100 corporate executives. These men are the heads of some of the country's largest corporations. And we asked them, would you hire a qualified man as your secretary? How many corporate executives said yes, they would?
Well, I think a lot of corporate executives now have male secretaries. They're finding them to be very efficient, and if for no other reason, they don't have to worry about their wives getting jealous. I would say 50. I'm going to go right down the middle.
50 corporate executives said they would hire a man as their secretary.
If a man is up there, one of those guys, he's up there because he knows what he's doing and he knows what his job is. And if the man is efficient, he would hire him. I would say it's going to be higher than that.
Higher.
Much higher.
The actual number of corporate executives who would hire a qualified man as their secretary is 61. Jorge, you're right.
Oh, finally.
And your base card in the tiebreaker, Jorge, is a 7. Do you want it?
Change it.
Changing the 7 to an 8. Great card.
It's going to be definitely lower than that.
Lower than an 8. It is a 5.
Higher.
For the championship, higher than a 5. It is a 6. We have a new champion on Card Sharks. Jorge, congratulations. Tracy, you're leaving us with $3,050.
Thank you.
A profitable stay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Tracy Cressy. Jorge, come on down here. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
And now our friend from Venezuela goes for the big money with the money cards right after this commercial break. Good job. Back with our champion, Jorge Blum. You've already got $200 in the match.
Very, very happy. I can't believe I'm here again, you know. It's terrific.
You're ready to go for the big dollars.
Oh, I'm sure am.
Let's open the board and get to the money cards. Come on, Jorge. Pop one up there. And everyone wishing you well as the money cards are all shuffled and cut. Janice will start dealing them out. We'll give you $200 on the bottom level and 3 cards to play with. Up to the second level, we'll give you another $200 of betting money and 3 more cards. Minimum bets of $50 till you get to the top card, the big bet, and there you must bet at least half the money. A lot of money up there. Good luck. Here's $200. As in the game, you have a choice of 2 base cards on the bottom level. You can, of course, change your base card as you move up to each succeeding level if you need to. With $200, you're starting with a 4.
And I'll keep it. And I'll go higher for the next one.
How much
I'm
money?
going to bet, no, 150 higher.
$150 higher than a 4. Yes, with a 9. $350.
And I'm going to go 100 lower.
$100 lower than a 9. It is a 3.
All higher. All higher.
$450 higher than a 3. Yes, with a queen. Good job on the bottom level with $900. Up goes the queen. $200 more. You've got $1,100.
All of it lower.
The whole thing on a queen. All or nothing. $1,100 lower than a queen. It is an 8. Now you're up the middle. Be careful.
Okay, I'm going to be conservative with this one. I'm going to bet 200. It's going to be lower.
$200 lower than an 8. Yes, a 5. Only $400.
And I'm going to bet 1,000 higher.
Ooh, big bet on a 5.
1,000 higher, yeah.
Hope you're right. $1,000 higher than that 5. It is a 10. $3,400 and up goes the 10. Big decision now. Do you want to play that or change it?
I'm going to change it.
You've got a lot of money to bet with. This is a big change. Changing the 10 to an 8. Ooh, right up the middle. Now, Jorge, you must bet at least $1,700.
Well, I'm going to bet half of it. And I'm going to say it's going to be lower.
$1,700 lower than an 8. Yes! For $5,100. Wow, good betting. Good job. Very nicely done. And our young student from Venezuela now has $5,300. That'll pay a little tuition.
Oh, yeah. Sure it will.
And he'll meet a new challenger right after this commercial break, so don't go away. Congratulations. Good job. Good job. 2 8s you had to call right there. All right, Jorge. Janice is dealing out 2 brand new decks of cards, and we have a new challenger coming out on Card Sharks. Sue Levine. Hello, Sue. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
You two have met, I assume?
Oh, yes.
Won't you tell us about yourself?
Well, my name's Sue Levine, and I'm studying to be a court reporter. Hopefully graduating in May. I'm a newlywed of 4.5 months, and I'm 19 years old.
Well, congratulations. Isn't that nice? How long does it take to be a court reporter?
Well, seems forever, but it takes about 2.5 years.
Do they really write down every word?
Every single word.
Good to have you here, Sue. You've cut the cards, of course?
Sure have.
Then we're ready to go, and you'll play the lower cards, the blue cards, while Jorge plays the upper cards, the red cards. Jorge, we found 100 kids who come from a family with at least 10 children. And we asked them, have you ever left the dinner table and come back to find that someone else had eaten your dessert? How many children from large families said, yeah, that's happened to them?
We are 4. Happens every day. So 10, I guess, is going to be a very, very high number. I would say at least 75.
75?
Yeah, 75.
What do you think, Sue?
Well, I come from a family of 3, and I'm the notorious one for eating all the desserts. So I'm sure it's got to be high. I got to say it's higher.
Even higher than that?
Higher than that.
Nothing is sacred at the dinner table, huh?
Never.
The actual number of children from large families who've returned to the table only to find that someone had eaten their dessert is 50, right up the middle. It's not higher, Sue. Jorge gets first look at the board. And Jorge, your base card is a 10.
And I'm going to change a 10. Yeah.
Changing the 10 to a 5.
Okay. It's going to be higher.
Higher than a 5. Yes, a king.
Aha! It's going to be lower this time.
Lower than a king. A deuce.
And higher!
Higher than a 2. A 5.
Higher again. It's
Gonna go for it for the win.
Yeah!
There's the game. Well, game 1 of the champion with $100. And we'll set up for game 2. You know, Jorge, I've noticed with you, you talk quietly, and all of a sudden you attack. It's like a bullfighter. Aha! We got same 2 decks of cards. Sue, you need this game, and the question goes to you. Sue, we asked 100 bachelors, just because a woman accepts an invitation to your apartment, do you assume she's willing to fool around? How many bachelors said they do assume she's willing to fool around?
Wow, that's a hard question. Well, I think just because a girl invites him over for dinner.
No, it's a woman accepts an invitation to go to the bachelor's
Oh, to the
apartment.
bachelor's
yeah.
apartment.
If she comes to the apartment, does he think she's going to fool around? How many bachelors said they do assume she's willing to fool around?
Just because she accepted the invitation, that's all it was for dinner. So I think it's going to be low, and I think it's got to be about 34.
34. Jorge?
Disagree. Nowadays, changing times. No way. You see, there's something suspicious about accepting that invitation, I must tell you. So it has to be much higher than that. I'll go higher, much higher.
The actual number of bachelors who assume a woman is willing to fool around if she comes to their apartment is 31, not higher, Sue. I think you're right about the times changing, but maybe they've changed for the better. Sue, you're starting off with a 5.
Ooh. That's a good card. It's not that great. I want to change it.
You're going to change that 5. See if we can improve it with a 3. Yes.
Higher, higher.
Higher than a 3. It is a 7.
Freeze.
Taking a 1-card advantage. Sue wants to freeze. Question goes to you, Jorge. Jorge, we asked 100 Mississippi state troopers, if you caught President Carter speeding, would you give him a ticket? How many state troopers said they would?
Once driving through Mississippi, I got a ticket myself, you know. I think it's the only state I've ever gotten a ticket at. So those guys are really tough. They would give him a ticket. I would say 80 of them would give him a ticket. At least 80 would give him a
state troopers
ticket.
would give the President of the United States a speeding ticket, Sue.
80. It's got to be lower because they're still state troopers and they have a professional ethics code, so it's got to be lower.
Oh, lower?
Yeah.
The actual number of Mississippi state troopers who would give President Carter a speeding ticket is 45. You're right, Sue. It's lower. Sue, you've got a 7.
Change that card.
Changing a 7 to a 10.
Lower.
Lower than a 10. Yes, a 6.
Freeze.
You'll freeze. Taking in 1 card at a time. And Sue, I'm not sure about the logic there with the ethics about not giving the president a ticket, but there must have been a lot of Democratic state troopers out there. We'll be right back right after this. Sue, I just want to let you know, I just got word 45 state troopers in Mississippi have just been fired. Well, so much for ethics. We'll see you next time on Card Sharks.
One of our polling groups will receive the Amana 2 plus 2.5 energy-saving refrigerator with 2 inches of foam wall insulation around the refrigerator, plus 2.5 around the freezer. More insulation, saving more energy, made and furnished by Amana. And some of our contestants will receive High Karate, irresistible aftershave, cologne, handsome travel kits, and many other gift combinations. High Karate for the men in your life. And a gift certificate from Ben Franklin Stores. We carry national brands at prices you like. Discover Ben Franklin, we bring variety to life. And Prince Gardner matching leather accessories. Smartly styled for fashion-conscious men and women, a perfect gift, a fine name, Prince Gardner. And a 22-piece Master Mechanic multi-drive socket set from True Value Hardware Stores, who combine value and personal service in over 5,000 locations. This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.